All right, what's up, guys? This is PJ, and we are back with another week of Essential Guide Talk. We got James over here to my right today.
My parade wave.
And over to my left, I want to introduce, he has brought all of this awesome product that we are going to get to know in just a few minutes. The owner of KAFX Body.
Correct.
We've got Skip.
Yes, that's right.
Skip, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
What's up, Skip?
man.
Not much, man. It's been a long time.
I know.
So you guys have some history.
Yeah,
Why don't we get
we
that
do.
out
It's
of the
hard for me
way,
to call him
right?
Skip and not Coach.
Oh,
Coach? All right, so why would you be calling him Coach?
So Skip is personally responsible for a lot of pain and sweat and suffering in my life. A lot of mental fortitude to have to, and I'm saying that in a joking manner, no, but really is responsible for it. Skip and I go back. Skip owns or owned, which you could talk about.
Sure.
JSA CrossFit in Manasquan.
Yep.
And my wife and I were members of Skip's CrossFit for quite some time.
Nice.
Yeah, long time.
So how long did you own
18
JSA?
years.
18 years.
Yeah.
All right, so for a little bit.
A little bit. Just
All
a
right.
little blip.
And what brought you to that business to begin with?
Oh, man. How long's the podcast?
It's as long as we decide it is. So
I was doing, I had a martial arts school from 1998 up. And from 98, I had a really bad injury after training. I was traveling all over the world. I was doing intense training for 18 years. I traveled all over the world with like my teacher and teaching and learning. And I took a really bad fall, blew my shoulder out, and they had to reconstruct the whole thing. And they were like, look, we're going to be honest. You're probably never going to lift anything over your head more than 5 pounds. You're not going to pick anything up off the ground that weighs more than probably 40. And that shoulder's kind of smoked.
famous last words,
Yeah.
right? He
So,
gave
like,
you a challenge.
Oh, man, forget it. So I was 30-something years old, and that just pissed me off.
Right.
And I was like, I'm like, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
So I started digging. I'd never lifted weights, never did anything. So I came across this new thing in 2005, just came out, and it was called CrossFit.
Right.
So I started doing it in 2005, started rehabbing my shoulder, started getting stronger. Then my students are like, wait, what are you doing? They wanted in. They started doing it. I went and got certified. I actually, at the time, there were like no certs in the country. So I traveled down to North Carolina, and with the founder of CrossFit, Greg Glassman, was there, and he does cert for us. Now, everybody there is like special forces, law enforcement, military, and then there's me. And my buddy, who, by the way, smokes like 2 packs a day.
Nice.
And like in between, he's like, is it cool if I go get a cigarette? And I'm like, no, like, just no, you can't do that. So it was like a weekend where, I was like, that's it. I was all in.
Yeah.
So then we started a CrossFit gym around then, 2006. We were the 180th CrossFit gym in the entire world.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was that brand new.
Yeah, I mean, up to 15,000 now worldwide. We were 180.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, people did adaptations of CrossFit. They just never actually called it that, right?
No.
Never put it together as a full functioning program.
Yeah, I mean, there was circuit training, there was
Yeah.
HIIT training, but really Glassman took it and shaped it differently,
Right.
and it was pretty unique. And the results were fast, and you could not debate how good in shape you could get in a short amount of time if you did it correctly.
Right.
So
If you did it correctly.
did it
No,
correctly.
and I can attest to this too, because when I was at CrossFit, I started out as one body style
Yeah.
coming in. Have my own, as Skip knows, I tend to be pronated. I have a bad psoas muscle. I don't
Yes,
have a lot
I
of ankle
remember all this.
mobility. I'm a tall guy. I got the tall guy disease.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just the rigor of the workouts, which, by the way, pushes you to, anybody that does CrossFit already knows this, but literally pushes you to your mental capacity, past your mental capacity of pain. But it was the combination. So I did CrossFit with Skip for a while, and I didn't see a lot of, I was stronger. My lifts were getting better, but I didn't see a lot of body change. And it was when I changed over to my diet, and Skip helped with diet too, and there was a complete conversion in my body.
Yeah.
And every time I come on the show, Skip, usually we have food, and I make sure that I make the proclamation that I'm on a diet.
I was just
'Cause I'm
going to say,
forever on
dude,
a
you got
diet.
it out of the
I
way
love that.
real early in this one. Yeah, because we have some of the nicest food on our table
Oh.
every single week. And about halfway through the show, he just goes, I just want you guys to know, I'm on a diet, and this isn't helping me at all.
Yeah, but when I did eat clean, man, and the combination of that, and this is one of the reasons why Kelly and I were, and so, with CrossFit too, we were drawn to this particular business because of Skip and the way he ran. And, all compliments this side. No, I'm being serious. Skip and Paige are great. But 186 gym, ground floor, really knows the rudiments of everything. You know, it's almost, and this is a weird analogy, but like to a pizzeria, where a pizzeria's success is contingent upon that one pizza chef usually that's really good, right? So there's a lot of CrossFit boxes out there that their coaches really didn't understand the physiology, and then also everything else, the movements, the right way to do the movements, because CrossFit is super dangerous in the respect of if you don't do it correctly.
Right.
So if you have a lackluster coach, you're not going to be able to really, you're going to get hurt, man. You're
Definitely.
doing
Guaranteed.
massive weight overhead,
Right.
you know, like
Not doing it
And,
the right
and that's
form.
the part of it that is, for years, we fought because CrossFit's a license, right? And it's a methodology, but every gym can do it differently. So you can go into a CrossFit gym and get totally different coaching, if you get any instruction. Sometimes there's no instruction. So it really was like a constant fight, like, hey, look, we're not like that. We're actually want to coach you. We want to teach you. We want to, because here's the thing. Injured people don't get fit. Injured people don't also stay. Injured people are not members for the rest of their lives.
Disappointed,
you gotta,
and they're on the shelf.
It's horrible, and then it gives the whole thing a bad reputation. So we
Yeah.
were really, really adamant about teaching, and then like just holding people back, and it works. You know,
Yeah.
it's a little more work, but it's definitely worth it.
and I don't want to get like, I know we're not here for that purpose, but all of that stuff is, and they would do that. Like you weren't doing WODs, like you were doing scaled thing until Skip said that you were ready to do this. You're not doing it, you know. And also something Skip didn't make mention of is he's like a keto master.
Ah, nice.
By the way,
I don't know about
He
that.
looks like it. He looks like he
Weren't
knows
you,
how to
like,
eat correctly.
one of the only American serving
Yeah,
board members or something like that on.
So I trained for 30 years in Aikido. So there's the founder of Aikido. I trained with his student. So I got close with him. So I traveled like Barcelona, Japan, Hong Kong, all over Europe, all over Spain. So I would like train with him, travel with him. And then eventually I moved up with him, and he appointed me as the first American president of this largest organization, basically.
That's awesome.
So it was pretty huge. It was a big part of my life for 18 years. I still teach, I still train, but not on the road as much anymore.
So I have to ask you, how long did it take you to lift 5 pounds over your head, right?
Not long.
Not long, I was gonna say, right.
That was the fire that gave me a 400-pound deadlift and a 365-pound clean. So
5 was a joke.
So it was pretty funny. I actually went back to that doctor. He was a great doctor, and he put a screw in me, and he's just like, look, he's like, I'm going to leave the screw in. It's going to limit your range of motion. So I bent the screw in half because I was back out on the road traveling with my teacher in 11 weeks. I'm like, I'm not sitting on the bench. I'm like, I got to go. So 11 weeks later, I'm getting thrown again. I'm lifting weights. I'm doing all this crazy stuff. And I come back and I'm like, my shoulder feels a little weird. He's like, you bent the screw in half. He's like, I got to go back in and take it out. And I said, can I have it? So he said, yeah. And I carried it with me for years.
How did he back it out? Did he cut it in 2 spots to take it out?
I was sliced all the way around.
Yeah, so he
then
had to cut
go
that
back
thing
in.
out. He
Yeah.
wasn't gonna able to back it
No.
out.
1 week later, Skip's doing 50-pound kettlebell Turkish get-ups.
What did you say? Spite is a powerful thing.
It certainly is. I was just going to say that. You know, you tell somebody at 30 years old
Oh, man.
that they can't do something the rest of their lives.
You tell me at 53, I feel the
Right.
same way.
Yeah,
I'm like, just
I mean-
please say that to me. Please tell me I can't do something.
If you're that personality that you tell somebody no, and that really means try me.
It lights my fuse.
Yeah.
It's the best thing to do for me. And then, once we get into talking about this,
I was just
I've
going to
had
say, so who told you
no
you
so
couldn't
many
make a
times.
deodorant
Plenty
company?
of people. Plenty
Because,
of people.
all right, you've got some great looking product. First thing, the marketing. It looks clean.
Thank
It
you.
looks good. It looks shelf worthy for sure. So tell us about it. What made you want to get into the deodorant and beard care business?
So COVID happened, right? So COVID was great for gyms. It was
Yeah,
And live
wonderful for
events
Jim.
also.
live events, gyms.
The whole table here had to
to.
transfer our energy to new things.
So we
and
all
pivot.
felt it, right?
Yeah.
And for gyms, we got hit hard.
Yeah.
So when that happened, it really was a wake-up call for my wife, Paige, and I. We were like, look, we need to think about maybe coming up with something that's not a brick and mortar, just as a backup, in case this ever happens.
Sure.
Again. So I'd been making beard care products for many years, just for myself. And I hated the flakes in her beards,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah,
since
yeah,
we
yeah.
all have beards, we can say. So flakes in my beard, I hated the way I always joked because I'm like, my beard was like a Brillo pad.
Do you have a
Like
beard
mine.
iron at
Yeah.
home? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, a little bit. I
blow
gotta
it out?
straighten it a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't blow it out. I straighten it with a
Just straighten it with a
straightener.
heat
Yeah,
iron,
a little
like
bit
a-
of heat, not too much because heat can
Yeah,
damage
it
So-
can burn it up.
So I started putting all the products in. They were all too oily. They were greasy. So I'm like, I'm going to make my own. So I started researching coffee oil. And there was this great thing that if you put coffee in a product like cosmetics that is great for the skin, is great for the hair follicles. I'm
Nice.
like, my cheeks weren't growing in really good. So I was like, you know what? I'll try and make my own. So started looking online. Nobody knew what they were doing. So I started playing with it. So I spent 7 years infusing coffee oil into beard care products.
Wow.
Never sold it. Just a fun thing for
Yeah.
my own stuff. COVID hit, and Paige is like, "Oh, why don't you try selling some?" So I tried to, put it up. We were selling some, not much. It was like nothing. So it was
Yeah.
almost a year. We were just kind of had this thing, couple sales here, a couple sales there. So without bringing this podcast down, I'm going to put it on a little bit of a downer. Paige, my wife, was diagnosed with colon cancer.
I did not. I'm sorry. to hear
Yeah,
that, Skip.
no,
I did not know that.
no. I know you did.
That was during COVID or around
It was
that time?
after COVID. So it was
Jeez.
about a year and a half ago, a little more than a year and a half ago. So it turned our lives upside
course,
down.
yeah, of
So
course.
we're trying to recover the gym. We get hit with that. It's stage 2 colon cancer. Our whole family's everything's forget it. Full stop. This is all that matters, obviously. So luckily, everything happened that we literally got to it right in time. It was still a traumatic thing for our family. It was a traumatic thing for her. It was horrible. Healing process was very long. And even though we were gym owners, ate healthy lifestyle, when that comes into your life,
Yeah.
everything changes.
Sure, of course.
So now it's like you're talking to these doctors. We're up in New York. We're going to the best doctors. And thank God we moved quick on all this, because if we hadn't, it would have been a whole different
Yeah, that
outcome.
stage 2 is sticking out because that's like the last stop where you really can get ahead of it.
Yeah. So,
Right.
I mean, basically, the tumor was the size of a lemon.
Wow.
No symptoms really at all. And it was just like that. She was anemic. She got her blood tested, and they're like, "You're anemic." And then they're like, "Your iron's really high." And we're like, "Well, what does that mean?" Nobody knew what it meant. Then all of a sudden, they're like, "That was a precursor to colon cancer."
Wow,
That's
okay.
what told us that was a red flag.
Okay.
So she lost 18 inches of her colon. The tumor was just about ready to come through the wall.
Wow.
And the surgeons we had talked to were like, I know this is upsetting, but you could wait a little bit. You could wait. Like the one guy told me he was going on vacation.
Why are we
and that when he
waiting?
got back, he
Yeah,
would take
why?
care of it. I'm like, no.
Yeah, why are we waiting?
I'm like, I don't care about your vacation. We're doing this right now. And it
Wow.
was like, well, it's kind of before Christmas.
Yeah,
I'm like,
before-
I don't care about Christmas.
It's not Christmas Day.
This is business.
This is
for
my
them.
girl,
It's all
I'm like, I don't
Yeah,
care
yeah.
about any of this. It's like, this is the most important person in my life. Like, we got to do this now. And so luckily we moved and went to another doctor. He's like, I will move things around and make it happen next week.
Wow. So you literally had to go to a different doctor.
I had to go to a different doctor. And these were really good doctors.
Yeah.
Like, these aren't like local doctors. We're in the city. And it was amazing. It was really amazing. And literally after the surgery, they were like, it was poking through the wall. If we had waited even a week more, we could have had a different outcome.
Right.
So
Because it
she's
could have
doing-
spread, right?
It would have spread. It would have been a catastrophe. So we are incredibly lucky, incredibly blessed. We come out of that. She's healing. The healing process is long. And then I'm picking up the boys from school. I have triplet teenage boys. And, I pick them up. They jump in the car. It's winter. The windows are up. And I'm just like, oh,
It's
God,
musty
man. I'm
in
like,
here.
what is going on? So, finally, I'm like, look, guys. I'm like, y'all got to wear deodorant. And they're like, we wear deodorant. And I'm like, you need to wear more. So, they're like, we wear a lot. We apply it a couple times a day. So we go home, and I'm like, show me what you're using. I look at it, and I don't know one thing on this label. I can't even pronounce anything on the
Yeah.
label. Now, this has happened in my life with Paige, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
now everything you
I'm like,
put
oh,
on
no,
are
no,
in
no.
your
I'm
body.
like, so now you're going to put this on your body for the rest
In
of
your
your life?
armpit,
In your
nonetheless,
armpit,
where
right?
it's like
in
super
a very
porous. and,
porous spot where you're going to suck in whatever
Right.
it is.
But so
Yep.
it's so crazy we do this, right? And we hardly ever look at the ingredients, right? So I'm like, you know what? You throw this away. I'm like, I'm going to try and make it. So, well, actually before that we tried a bunch of natural things and nothing worked. It was just a bunch of fragrance. We owned the gym. The boys worked out at this point. We're working out. We're like, nothing works.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try and make it. So Paige is like, you know what? If you're going to make it, put the coffee oil in it because it's kind of your thing. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So I'm shutting down the beard care thing because Paige is healing. I'm like, I need zero distractions right now. I'm done. This is all that matters. I'm going to work on trying to get the gym back. Just all that matters is Paige. So TikTok just comes out with this new thing. I'm on TikTok with a little bit with the beard stuff. I have like 1,000 followers, nothing. So TikTok's like, hey, we have this new beta program. It's called TikTok Shop. Do you want to be in the program? Yeah, whatever. So I make one video. Wasn't even a good video. It was a bad video. I'm like, this is a horrible video. So I post the video, and Paige is like, how's the video? I'm like, it's horrible. It's garbage. So I go home, and all of a sudden, we hear ching, 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 ching. And now Shopify is ringing like crazy with their sales. And now TikTok's blowing up. Now that's blowing up, and we're both like, oh, wow, it's cool. Now we look, it's 500,000 views. Now we look, it's 1 million views. Wow. Now we're cooking this stuff in a pot on my stove. And the rules are you have to fulfill in 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
I don't have a very big pot, you know, so I'm sweating. And she's like, it's fine. It'll last for a day. It'll slow down. It's not a big deal.
Should have gotten yourself a brew kettle.
I know.
Brew
Exactly.
kettle.
Well, I got a bigger lobster pot at
there
that
you
point.
go. Okay.
My pot just got bigger.
Yep.
So from there, the thing blew up and it never stopped.
Yeah.
So it kept going. So what happened is apparently I didn't understand why it was a big deal. I was like, yeah, a lot of people had the same pain point, right?
Yeah,
a lot of people had the same problem. But what was happening is a lot of people were frustrated because they were using chemical-filled deodorants, tried natural didn't work. So I didn't know any of this. This was a big old mistake. I'm a martial artist and I teach CrossFit. Chemistry, nothing, right? Yeah. So we put this out there. People are buying it. They're like, this is amazing. I'm a diesel tech in Florida. I do not smell. What is happening? So these nurses on TikTok come out and they're like, look, when a room in the hospital stinks, we put coffee grounds in.
Yes, absolutely. I know that I spilled gas in my garage, and I read about all the different ways to suck up the smell. And one of the big things was coffee grounds.
I had no idea.
Okay, it was just a happy accident.
Right? So
then,
crazy.
Right?
So then these law enforcement's like, hey, when somebody hurls in the cruiser, we throw coffee in it. They're like, we think you just created something. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So we get a patent attorney. He happens to be a chemist. Couldn't be any luckier. He was a chemist and he's an attorney.
Nice.
So he's like, let me put my team on this. I'll get back to you. He gets back to us. He's like, we need to move fast. He's like, this doesn't exist. He's like, you created something new. And I'm like, it can't be. This is a mistake. He's like, do you understand how tires were made? He's like, Michelin stepped in some rubber and figured out how to make a tire. He's like, that's how this happens. So we're patent pending. And we're going through all this lab testing, and apparently we made a new way to control body odor with coffee.
Half of the the creations were trying to go in a different direction and just stumbled upon something else.
I wasn't even going to sell this deodorant at all. I had no intention. I was like, well, make some beard care. I was shutting. Like, I'm not even lying. 2 weeks later, the beard care thing was going away. Wow. I was done because I'm like, priorities don't matter. Yeah. And then when we saw how well it worked for us, we're like, hey, maybe it can help a couple people. You know, we'll do it on the way out.
Well, whose idea was it for the coffee and the deodorant?
I was my wife. I know.
That's
she's
right.
a genius.
So,
she's without her, I would have been like...
This story resonates with me, man, because I was like, you know, using Old Spice a long time ago, and then got like the infamous like Old Spice burn.
Oh yeah.
Everybody does.
Where it just turned red and inflamed, right?
And then switched over, and this is awesome that you brought this stuff because I'm really excited to try this out.
Oh,
because
me too.
I'd love for you.
I switched over to like one of these, you know, healthy ones. I think it's like Arm & Hammer or something like that. And again, I have the same issue as you do, like with the thought process of there's about 26 chemicals that I can't even pronounce in here, and I'm putting it in my armpit, like, right? And
I'm giving it a headlock.
Like a sensitive area. Yeah. You know, I mean, we're not talking about like just anywhere.
Like your
know?
butthole.
Exactly.
Like,
I was like, let's just throw some things in there. It'll be all right.
So I'm like, for this, you know, and I feel like it's insufficient. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make it through the day ever. You know, like, I feel like I smell like an old man by like, you know, 1 o'clock, and I just took a shower at 10. You know,
so I purposely wanted to just put on a light amount this morning, and I used Axe.
Okay, sure.
It's the white stuff, and I just was like, unless I cake it on, I don't feel like I get good coverage, especially in this heat, you know? So now I'm at the point where I'm like, I sort of kind of smell it, but I smell just like I'm been, you know, living my life all day, and I'm excited to see how this stuff works. See, I'm a coffee guy for a lot of reasons too. I've read a lot about the coffee fruit itself and how good antioxidant it is.
It's amazing.
And so when you started saying you put coffee in your deodorant, it kind of made sense to me because I was like, if it's antioxidant in the fruit, you're putting it where it gets right in your bloodstream. It gets right into your pores. Like It's a good thing to have, right?
Yeah.
It can't be bad.
No, and it's been used topically for years. It's just never been used in a deodorant. So women's cosmetics, they knew this for a long time. They put it on their face, and like it tightens the pores, it helps with wrinkles, inflammation.
So why wouldn't they transition
So
like
why
a foot down?
I'm not that smart. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
right.
I'm like, why did somebody not figure this out before me? And when you look at an active ingredient that's not a chemical, it's usually something like, oh, well, we put some essential oils in it, or we put baking soda in it, which baking soda, like, you got me started, but baking soda, like, you would never take a lotion and say, let's put some baking soda on it and rub it on my skin. So why are we putting that on your armpit? Because there's no answer on how to get rid of smell without throwing in something like baking soda, which changes your pH, gives you dark marks, and over time, you will eventually start getting rashes from that product. So,
and a lot of stuff with aluminum in it, it loses its effectiveness anyway.
Yes.
Your body change, like you said, your pH balance changes, and all of a sudden you put it on at 9 o'clock in the morning, and by 12 you're like, it's not working anymore. I don't get it.
The ridiculous things I've had to learn about deodorant in a year and a half, it's been ridiculous.
So how did you go about the packing process and all of that?
Well, just like aluminum, talking about that, the fact that aluminum
oh my God, the smell
is blocking your pores, and then the bacteria behind it is still there. So then when that seeps out, you smell worse. So then you need more deodorant. So like the whole thing's this messed up hamster wheel nonstop.
This one was like you were marketing directly to me.
Well, I did see some past shows with some alcohol, so I did think that bourbon barrel might be.
So this is oak barrel bourbon,
Yeah,
which you couldn't say three better words to me.
I love all three.
It smells fantastic, but it doesn't smell like fragrancy, if you know what I mean.
No.
Like
And
it
we do
doesn't
that
smell
deliberately.
like it
It's
was
not like
sprayed with chemical or anything.
And
No,
we're
we're
very
not doing the
picky with that
booms.
too.
Just
Yeah, no
smells
booms. I heard booms are not allowed on the show anymore. I heard.
What's that?
I said we're not doing the boom.
They're allowed. He's coming back, so he'll be doing all the booms for us.
You smell great, Skip.
Oh, thanks.
Wow.
So these are like your product leader.
This is what we primarily sell. So we've manufactured, this is our formula. You'll notice it's not white. It's like that little brown color. If you look closely, you'll even see a tiny little bit of flake.
Yeah, there's definitely some flake in there.
That's the coffee and the product. So guess what it doesn't do? It doesn't destroy all your black shirts. So it's like, that was the other problem is
the white just stood out
products were
so
just like taking out my
predominantly,
shirts.
right?
And I was just like, I'm tired of throwing shirts out. I'm tired of a product that doesn't hold up when you actually sweat. It's only for people that sit around and do nothing. And then on top of that, I was tired of the chemicals. So
And you
it
were
was
tired
really
of
a thing.
Kane stinking up the car, bro.
That's right.
Get up the car.
And two other brothers at the same time.
Yeah, so
who were all
three.
the same age, you said,
All
right?
same age.
I can't
Triplets.
tell them apart.
Triplets.
I can't tell them apart.
If I
I've never
lined
been
them up
able to.
now, you'd probably be able to tell them a little apart.
You can.
All right, so we have oak barrel bourbon.
Ooh.
We've got Palo Santo and sandalwood.
Yep.
That's another great
Which is
sounding-
funny because I have not picked any of these other than the blue one, Ocean Jetty. Every other one, our community has picked them. I don't decide on the scents.
It's the best way to go. They're the people that are going to buy
I
it,
love
right?
I mean, so
Wow.
when that video blew up, and then another one, and then another one, we went viral more times than I can count. But this community went from 1,200 to 60,000 in a very short amount of time. Those 60,000, these people, like, they're not followers. These people are my family. Like, they're amazing. So anytime I want something, I'm like, hey, what do you think? They're like, a little softer, a little harder. We want more coffee. We want this scent. We want that
I love
scent.
it. They're like your beta testers,
They are
right?
and which I got the idea for this from Rogue. Because when Rogue first came out, which Rogue is a fitness company that makes all
I thought you were talking about the beer.
Like CrossFit
bro.
stuff.
No, so they make pretty much all the equipment for CrossFit gyms. And Bill, the owner of Rogue, back in the day, when he was making things, he made a Facebook group. And he's like, you tell me what you want me to make, and then I'll see if I can make it. Then he would develop it and say, what do you guys think? So I use that same philosophy for everything we make. I say, look, you tell me what you want to make. If I can make it, I'll make it. Then I'll make a poll, and we'll figure out
So
what to
where do you get your scents from?
So all of our scents, I'm very picky about because it's a natural product. There's actually, like, the misconception here is that people hear essential oils, and they're like, throw essential oils in it. Essential oils are actually more toxic than what I use.
That makes sense.
It's crazy.
I mean, I look at
Essential
these
oils,
ingredients.
It's 6 ingredients that you know, right?
Organic arrowroot powder, coffee-infused coconut oil. Everybody
You
loves
could pronounce
coconut
all this,
oil.
right?
Yeah.
Coconut oil is one of the greatest things for you. You can put it in your hair, on your
Right.
scalp.
Yep.
You know, you can
And we
take a
do.
little
Eat it.
tablespoon of it.
Yeah. Totally safe.
Fractionated organic coconut oil, Organic beeswax, another like miracle product that's out there, right?
It's a little old. It's been around a while.
Yep. Tried and true. Organic shea butter.
Yeah.
Organic cornstarch. I love that you start everything with organic because that means
Because it's not cheap.
clean.
I
Yeah,
have
exactly.
to say it because that
Not
stuff
cheap,
is not cheap,
but-
but you're getting a better quality. And again, like I made this for my family, didn't plan on selling it, so I was like, let's go for it. I'm going to put the best stuff in it. And then when we sold it, I'm like, I'm not going to sell a lesser version of it. I want to sell the same exact thing.
So magnesium
sell
hydroxide
out.
powder.
man, no way.
Is that what keeps you dry?
So the arrowroot and the cornstarch helps to absorb. That's
Cornstarch.
the powder,
Okay, that makes
right?
sense.
The magnesium is incredibly good for your skin, but it also is a secondary layer of protection because it eliminates body odor also. So the
Perfect.
coffee oil is the main thing. I mean, like we've tested each one without, and coffee oil just trumps everything. But then the magnesium hydroxide powder, that's like the next part that just helps you out as much. Now that one, the blue one, that's the top seller, Ocean Jetty.
It
we've sold.
smells so fresh.
I can smell it from
ridiculous.
here and the top still.
And
on
what's
it.
funny is, like, people don't realize this, but 50% of my
That
customers
is
are women.
so fresh.
Like, this is not a
yeah,
men's
like,
brand. Like, is
this
men,
doesn't make
women.
you smell like a man. It makes
No,
you just
it
smell clean.
good. You smell clean. You smell fresh.
Wow.
Which one do you use, bro?
I use black coffee and Palo Santo.
I like the black coffee
The black
one
coffee
too.
is hooked on.
Coffee.
Yeah.
Is
He's
that the
hooked
one
on.
I haven't
Oh,
looked
yeah.
at yet?
It's really good. Which when I made this, I'm like, look, everybody's going to think it smells like coffee. I'm not going to make anything smell like coffee, which it doesn't when you make it.
Right.
So then community came out there like, no, man, you have to
have
make
one
one
that's
smell
your
like coffee.
iconic
I said,
thing.
all right, let's do it. I don't know your armpits want to smell like coffee.
And it
but
doesn't have to be each one that you would wear.
No,
but then you
but
did it and you
I
liked
did it and
right?
I loved it. I'm like, oh man, this is ridiculous
so
how good
black-
it is.
It smells good. It's not musky. It's
No,
not like
no, it's
No,
like-
that just smells like you're in a roastery.
That's
And
exactly
you
how
just
we
smell
describe
it
it.
in the air.
Like, you know how coffee can smell bitter? So a lot of like the fragrances smell bitter. So to find one, I say it's like walking into your favorite coffee shop.
It's weird to say, but I want to take a
Yes.
little nibble.
Yeah,
It
No.
smells
it is
so
coffee.
clean
The amount
and
of
good.
people that on a weekly basis ask me if they can eat this product is
They're all
ridiculous. Like, I'm
ingredients
not
that
even
wouldn't
kidding.
make
They're
you
like, could
sick,
I
right?
eat it? I'm like, no, man, don't eat it.
Could
And I'm like,
I know you shouldn't, but
like,
but could I?
I?
Then I've had people like be like, you can't stop me.
yeah. This is like the Tide Pod generation. Get out of here, guys.
It's like,
You can't
stop.
eat deodorant.
Do not eat
we're,
the
we're
deodorant.
the black
I mean-
coffee KAFX eating generation.
Our generation was like the Elmer's glue generation.
Yes,
you
yes.
know.
Holy crap,
Oh,
we sure
yeah.
were.
So wait, so aside from this, which this is incredible, there's soap, right?
Yeah.
There's soap,
All
too.
So,
We're gonna get into that.
So
So
let,
let's
let me
just
just
tie over to
I know.
soap.
So first with the deodorant, we've made all this. This is all manufactured here in Jersey. We've manufactured over 30,000 sticks, and we're not slowing down. So like that's an in-house what happened is I went out, contacted a bunch of manufacturers. Nobody was a good fit. One guy got my name wrong, called me Chip for an hour, which made me really happy. So I'm like, well, we're not using you. So
Chipperson.
yeah, I'm like, cool. So we went out and found out what machines they were using, and I bought them. And then I was
go.
like, you know what? If this is what you're going
Invest
to
in
do,
yourself,
I
right?
I'll buy your machines. And so that's how we manage.
So you're making it yourself.
all of it.
That's
So
incredible.
you're
all of it.
Tyler Durden. You're
And
making
then-
Yeah, I
your own
cook.
soap.
My boys are always like, let
Holy-
Dad cook.
Let them
Yeah.
cook.
Let them cook,
Let 'em
right?
cook.
Let
What are
'em
you gonna do
cook.
when they go off to college, man?
Oh
You
man,
know, or-
half my workforce is
it's
going.
gone.
So we have the soaps.
Mocha.
This is. I don't really get excited about soaps.
So
You know
I
what
know.
I'm
That's
saying? You know,
that's
but
why I was very picky what I brought for soaps. I'm like, all right, what would James like?
this is really good.
It's actually really nice.
I'm
So
so
you know-
excited not to have to use Dial or whatever we
dude.
have
You
in
know
my
what's
house
funny?
right now.
I've been getting the, I've
that
been
stuff
getting the,
dries you out so bad.
Oh, it's
I've been
terrible.
getting the Duke Cannon ones
Yes.
that smell like
Yeah,
bourbon.
yeah.
And I use it exclusively on
Oh,
like
yeah.
my beard and face.
Definitely.
And it works nicely.
Yeah, they're nice.
But then for Father's Day, my wife wanted to get me something, so she got me this Manscaped hair and beard
Yep.
wash.
Yeah.
And it's like a 2-in-1 type deal, keeps it, moisturized and stuff. But it's not like feminine to keep yourself nice
No,
and
man, no.
moisturized
No,
and your,
not at
your
all.
beard nice now. So
No.
I'm all about the soaps.
I don't
want
want to look homeless.
Yeah,
No, you
why
don't
do
wanna
people-
look
Why
like
do people
you're-
think it's okay to have to stink? Like you're not manly unless you
Right.
stink or whatever.
Yeah,
bro.
and
You know what I
then
mean?
like nobody wants to be with your ass anyway, so it's like doesn't really matter. You're
Now
alone.
I'm the alpha in the room because
Isn't
I'm the
most
only
women
one.
like-
You're
in
the
the
only
room.
one in the room.
right.
All
They're
right,
like,
so
I want a
then
good smelling man. Or what is
you
that?
have-
What is that?
beard butter
Oh,
All right.
and
so you gotta pop that.
So-
You gotta smell that.
beard balm and beard butter.
All right. So what's the difference
So you,
between the two?
You
So-
open that guy.
a bomb actually controls those little flyaways we all have.
Okay.
Right? And a butter doesn't really have hold. A butter is a little bit
It's
of
like a
hold,
creamy
but it's more like a
type
creamy way. Think of it like a leave-in conditioner.
Okay.
So that's shea butter and coffee oil. It still has that like
You
brownish
make
color.
all of this?
Yeah. So, I mean, like, we've definitely moved away from our beard care, but we don't get rid of it because we have a very large beard following. So we have this crew. We still,
great.
make products for them. But when I say that we sell deodorant all day long, we sell deodorant all day long.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's our primary.
But these are good like accompaniments.
It
Like, if
is.
You're going to get your deodorant all
totally.
the time, every once in a while, Father's Day
Yeah.
and birthdays.
Totally.
You guys, like women, when you're looking for something, you can never go wrong if your guy's got a beard. Getting
No,
them a maintenance
hell no.
kit, getting them some balm, getting them
Hell
some
no.
butter.
So that's like bourbon, cedar, and tobacco leaf.
This
Yeah,
smells
that one.
incredible.
Right,
Yeah,
dude?
I'm
Right?
saying
That's
this
my
is like-
favorite.
So where
That's
where
my
does the
favorite.
rub
name
this on
come
my
from?
face.
Seriously.
I really do.
I know. That's our biggest seller for the beard care stuff.
All right.
19th hole.
Yeah.
So wait a minute.
So like Paige's family are big golfers, so it's a
Mm-hmm.
nod to their family, and like I wanted to pay like a little respect, and we love it. Like definitely our best seller for the beard
So if
care.
I want to put this into my routine,
Yeah.
when I take a shower, the first thing I should do after I take a shower is
Butter first.
butter first.
Start at the roots, work out, get it into the skin, especially because of the coffee oil, and then once you're done with that, do your whether you straighten it, blow it out, or if you just put it right in, then you put the balm in, and that's going to help with the flyaways. That way you don't have to cut every flyaway, and then that way it makes your beard look fuller.
So do you have a recommendation on the mix here? Because now we're talking about two different. What's that?
no, that one's
flavor?
19th
one.
hole too. But then we
I
have
didn't open
mocha
these,
too.
but this
Oh,
mocha
okay,
Java.
okay. So we do have matching. We
yeah,
do
yeah,
have
yeah.
matching.
No, I got you.
Oh,
Yeah, no, this-
Matching set for each of you.
he's
Skip,
thought
I'm
of it
excited
all.
about this.
Good.
Yeah.
That makes me happy,
Yeah.
man.
So
But
the
that's
reason
how it
you
started.
put it on your skin first is because then it soaks into the skin, keeps it moisturized, and now you don't flip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can relate to this. I get like
The itching.
Yeah.
Oh, I never have that now. Never. And let me tell you what happens with this too is because of the coffee oil and it makes the hair follicle healthier. So like
And
I
you
know
grow
way
more,
too
right?
much about this. So there's something called critical length where our beard hair falls out.
Mm-hmm.
If the hair follicle is healthy, you can push that a little bit. So the coffee oil helped me grow in my cheeks when they weren't growing in great. So that in that product is a great fit. And nobody does that either. Like nobody's putting coffee oil in beard care products.
I mean, thank whoever you want that nobody did think.
Oh
of it,
my
right?
God!
Because this
Yeah,
is your baby now.
believe
your
me,
thing.
it was a big
ground
old
floor
accident.
again, bro.
Big accident.
Ground floor.
Ground
yeah,
floor
you were one of the
again.
first.
I don't know. Paige is like, wait, you're 53, you're on TikTok, and you sell deodorant. What is our life? And I'm like, yeah,
Awesome.
I don't know. This is the weirdest life ever. I just ride the train.
I will say that TikTok has impressed me over the last year and a half with its ability to be so much more than you expect.
Oh yeah.
And what I mean by that is when I first got into TikTok years ago, I thought it was just very generic, girls dancing, shaking their ass.
I think that's what it was at that point.
But then what I started to
Yes.
realize is their algorithm is really good. And if you start feeding it things you like, all I get, comedy, barbecue,
Yeah.
recipes.
It quickly changed, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like my whole FYP page. It's just everything I love.
Yeah, no
And
garbage.
Not a lot of things that I'm going
No,
like this.
no,
I
most same for me. Like, I mean, I see like a lot of success stories, positive things, and I'm also looking at other, commerce for ideas. But like, I don't see any garbage. People talk to me about TikTok, and I'm like, I got to tell you, man, I see a lot more trash on my Instagram than I do on TikTok.
Exactly. And I think it learns so fast that like a business like you, people like a couple of the things you do. Now they're seeing everything you do.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, they like them, so let me just give them more of that.
Yeah.
And that benefits you tremendously
Oh, totally.
because now your fan base becomes more fervent. They get to comment on everything you do.
They were
you know?
smart because unlike Facebook and Instagram, and any small business, I can relate to this as a small business.
Yeah, definitely.
They really throttle you back. You know what I mean? They're not putting you even in front of your followers. Whereas TikTok was just, if they said, hey, they put it on a couple tester videos and people watched it, they threw you out to like 10,000 people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a different game. Like, I have no game on Facebook and Instagram, and I post on it every day. If I post on TikTok, not only that, but like without getting on TikTok thing, from the time I started, TikTok immediately started helping us. They're like, oh, let's give you an account manager. I'm like, what are you talking about? Then they're like, oh, you know what? We're gonna hire a company on the West Coast to help you scale. They're gonna hire creators for you. I'm like, who pays for it? They're like, we paid for it. So it's like they immediately
want you to succeed.
And they want you selling product on their shop.
Exactly.
because
So
that
it's a
keeps you
win-win.
there.
And like I help them, they help me.
Sure.
It's a great relationship. And I got to tell you, like the amount of spam and garbage I get that from Facebook on a daily basis, like your account's going to be shut down or
Yeah,
somebody
exactly.
hijacked me. I've never had one of those problems.
Well,
ever.
here's what we're going to do. We're going to make little 30-second or 1-minute deals for this stuff.
Yeah.
And we're going to link it to our TikTok
Oh,
shop.
thank
And
you.
it'll just be another avenue that people can find the
That's
product.
awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely awesome. I mean, I was excited to see it, and it just exceeded my expectations because it smells so good and it's so functional.
Thank you,
I mean,
thank
if
you,
it
thank
smells good and it's not that functional, then
Nobody
okay,
cares.
Big,
Yeah,
big
but
deal.
Novelty
it is-
item.
Yeah,
Totally.
Then it's like Axe.
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
Axe is one of the big. I think it might
my
be
God.
the biggest men's body products in the world.
It has to be.
But it's not overly effective.
No.
It's just sold in every CVS, and when guys go to CVS, that's what they're buying.
Yeah.
You're right, and that's what they're programmed to buy,
Sure.
right? And that's what the boys were wearing. Is they were trying other things,
Yep.
but the day I
Thumbs
checked
down. It was
was
Axe.
Axe. Check out that label. Like you really want to.
Exactly.
You seriously need a degree just to read that label. And I'm like,
Exactly.
what is this? Why do I have to Google 50% of these ingredients and I don't even want to know what's in them? So
The other thing that people I feel don't realize too, and I guess you can maybe relate to this because I know it applies more to like the cologne perfume thing, but not every scent or ingredient mixes with your body chemistry too,
right.
and it actually gives you. It might smell great on somebody else, but it gives you an adverse reaction,
Yeah.
right? So
That's like a perfume thing or a cologne thing. You put a cologne on, and you're like, that doesn't smell anything
No.
like
Right.
it.
no,
was
why
when
does
I
this smell so
spritzed it.
different? It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I
And
like
then what
the
I
perfume
found
stuff.
out was there's actually this is all the weird shit you find out. So there's something called detoxing, which like most people don't even know about. So if you go and like with the boys, they were wearing that garbage. So if they go to a natural product, they could smell worse. So it's like, why do they smell worse? Because all the garbage that was behind
has to
that
get
dam
out,
has to
right?
come out.
Yeah.
So I didn't know this. I'm like, what do you mean deodorant detoxing? This is a fake thing you made up. No,
yeah.
no, it's real. So it's like,
Pores hold on to it. Right?
yeah,
And
so
then
your
it
pores are
expels
blocking it, and they
Yeah.
finally have to get it out. Somebody the other day, one of my customers down in Florida, is like, "Why do I smell like my old deodorant?" I'm like, "Well, it's kind of leaking out of you. It's going to
How
take.
long does that take?
It could take 2 weeks to a month, depends on what they do. Most people try not to sweat. It's the worst thing. You got to go sweat.
I would say it takes 6 bars. You got to go
6
through
bars.
6.
Keep going. Just keep going.
Yeah. If it's not better in a year, come
Then
back.
come
to
on
me.
back. But it's funny. I mean, that's the stuff you learn. Where
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'd never.
that
even
makes
heard that.
sense though.
Makes
It
makes
does.
sense if
It
you
does.
think about it, but I wouldn't have thought about it.
No, me
So
either.
Lily Air.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
another one. So that more feminine base.
That's more
right?
feminine. That's like a bouquet of flowers.
Yeah. Very cool.
But like I would say, other than Lily Air, really everything you see on this table,
yeah,
guys and
vanilla
girls
bean.
wear.
A guy
Oh,
can
man,
rock
forget it.
vanilla bean.
Dude, this is genius. I can just picture it now because I mean the marketing is great behind it. The brand, right? So the brand itself, and again, your JSA brand was great. You know, like I get this part of it. And for a woman that's going to get it for her husband,
Yeah.
that isn't going to get that other. I can't remember the name of that other like man soap that's out there. Then they go to the site. Then they see, oh, there's this
Swatch.
ocean. Yeah, there's this.
Dr.
There's
Sass
this
Swatch.
fresh, and it's like I'm gonna just grab my own one of
Right.
these.
And that's how it happens usually. They usually the funny part is when that first video hit, it was all moms. They were all buying for their teenage kids because they were like, "Wait, I have that same problem." Then like one mom's like, "Look, I take like 6 kids from football home every day," and I was like, "Oh my god!" She's like putting up like green throw up
She's just
emojis
rolling
and
it on
everything,
her
right?
nose like that.
So she's like, I started using this. I started giving it to all the kids. She's like, it's amazing. It stopped. So like, then the moms are like, well, if it works for them, I'll use it. So then that's how we tapped into really the women being like 50% of our customers. I mean, honestly, most days it's more like 52% are women. It's crazy.
It's awesome. Yeah, and it was smart to not just go man-centric
No,
to the
no,
point
no.
that like it excludes the women.
No, and
You want
it's
them
a
to feel like-
family-based product. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? My wife wears it. I wear it. Like, if it helps my family, I hope it helps your family.
Again, this Mocha Java beard oil.
Oh,
I
man.
smell it and I'm like, I want to like dip it in my food. It smells like
Have you tasted any of this stuff?
No, but I did have. Finally, people got so obsessive about eating it, became like this viral
like,
thing.
screw it, let's
So
do
I
it.
put it on a plate, and I took out a fork and a knife, and I cut it up into pieces, and then I put it on the fork, brought it up to my mouth, and I'm like, for the love of God, like, don't eat this product, all right? I'm like, can we just be done with this?
This is genius.
and then you tell them not to. Now they're gonna want.
Oh
to
yeah,
even
now they
more,
want to do
right?
it more. They're like,
It's
I'm
just
eating
the way
it.
it is. So you got some merch on here. I want to check that out. coffee mug.
Of course, of
right?
course, of
Coffee Kills shirt. You got a Coffee Kills hoodie.
Yeah, it's
Hell yeah.
people are passionate about the brand. And the funny thing was when we first started making it, and
Well, I'm a new fan already.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But women were like, I was like, you know what? Maybe we got to lose the skull. And then like our female customers are like, please don't do that. We love it. And I'm like, all right, let's stick with it. So
No,
we
'cause
leaned into it. And now everybody's like, I want a hat. I want a shirt. I want a hoodie. And I'm like, okay,
It
let's.
still makes it cool to get for a guy.
It does. It does.
the
But you can still
women's-
wear it.
Yeah, the women's scents are great.
We
They're-
had our
they're not
first
women's
person get a
scents.
full-size tattoo of the logo this past week.
I just saw that on your Instagram. I think it was on your
Really?
Instagram
Yes.
or something like that.
Full arm all the way down. My man Tymerian, he's a gamer. He's an amazing dude. I found him. He found me a while back, and he was having the same struggle I'm talking about. Couldn't find a deodorant that works, and he wanted me. He was like, "This is amazing. It works." He works in the largest forge in the entire country. He's out west, 140 degrees. He works in. If you saw a video of him working, there's sparks. Lava looking like, and he's in there, he melts his face shield, and he's like, no deodorant works. Tried our stuff, it worked.
That was the best TV
He's a-
commercial
he's a
ever
coolest
for
dude
you.
ever. Oh, man.
The best hat tip is guys that work in extreme heat.
Yes.
Coming back and saying, "Yo, it held up for that."
Yeah.
If it held up for that, it's gonna hold
You'll be
up for
okay
you
in the
at your
office.
desk job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, your 9 to 5 is not going to push this thing to its
No,
limits.
no. So he went out, and he was actually, it was funny because he made something go viral with us because he wanted sandalwood. And then a lot of girls were like, we want coconut. And I said, you know what, let's make a poll. So they started a full-blown fight. And then some of the
Nice.
guys wanted coconut, some of the guys wanted sandalwood. So it was a poll every day. They're going back and forth. It's a struggle. And now, like, this thing's going viral. Like,
Yeah.
no coconut, no sandalwood every other day. It went on for weeks. Finally, Tymerian's army of gamers, like, all came out and tipped the scale to sandalwood.
Nice.
And it won by, like, 0.1%. So the deal was, he said at some point, he goes, look, if you put my name on that label, and then the original label had it, it's the first 500. He goes, you put my name on that label, I'll get a full KAFX tattoo on my arm. I said, and I'm like, man, you don't have to do that. And he's like, no, I'm doing it. It's like, look, don't worry about it. I'll put your name on. Like, I'm more than happy. You're awesome.
Yeah.
He goes out, a bunch of his friends, you know, are tagging me, and they're like, where's the tattoo, Tymerian? So he went out, got a full-size KAFX tattoo.
didn't
right
go
on his forearm.
small either.
He did not go small. I expected like a little one. He went the
No,
whole
I saw
forearm.
the whole forearm,
My man went
man.
for it.
And
So
then you made Coconut Cove anyway.
we made them
because-
both,
Right.
and
mean,
I
why
made it right
wouldn't you?
after. I like, how do you not? How do you not? It was epic though. It was so much fun.
It's got to be fun coming up with new scents.
Oh, dude, it's
right?
the best. Like
the citrus one, like
Oh.
citrus splash.
that thing straight up smells like Fruit Loops. Like literally smells like a bowl of Fruit Loops.
Yeah,
Like
that's
not
great.
even a little bit. Like I was jonesing for Fruit Loops. I went out and ate the first bowl in 30 years. I was like, I need some Fruit Loops.
Wow.
And then like News 12 came out and they did a write-up on us, a story and everything. And the guy could not believe how well that like smelled. So he hyped it up. And then like next day, sales were like, forget it. We sold out of Fruit Loops like the next day. It
What
was
about
ridiculous.
like a milk chocolate?
Oh man, we got so many ideas coming
Right?
up. I'm hearing chocolate cake,
Yeah,
milk,
yeah.
like a lot of foods, a lot
Sure.
of food ideas.
I mean, because when you're cooking, your house
Why not,
smells-
right?
Cinnamon bun.
cinnamon, oh,
Right?
Please,
Dude.
could you imagine?
Could you imagine just
People be
smelling
going
like a
around.
cinnamon
Smell,
bun?
come here, can I smell you?
Yeah.
A coffee cinnamon bun.
Coffee,
would be a
cinnamon.
great
It's
blend
gotten
as it
weird
is.
in my house, like because we'll smell each other. We're like, yeah, you smell good. Like
Yeah.
you still smell like Ocean Jetty. That's amazing.
And it's not weird because
no,
you're the
no,
one
it's
who
not
made
weird.
them smell good,
No,
right?
it's not weird at all.
So once again, we are here with Skip. He owns KAFX Body, and these products are fantastic. I've smelled them all now, but you have a bunch that we haven't talked about,
Sure,
right?
sure.
There's let me see all the different scents you have.
What are you up to now? What's the count?
We have 10. And it's funny because I kept trying to tamp it down, but I can't really. Like, people just want more and
All
more
right,
and
so you
more.
got pear petals.
We got pear petals. That's brand new. It smells like a sweet pear with a little bit of a floral scent, but
Nice.
it's not like over the top. Like, it doesn't smell like so floral that you wouldn't wear it.
Yeah.
Like I went. We took the family to the 9/11 memorial. I'm like, I gotta test this because I'm not gonna sell if I don't test it.
Mm-hmm.
I wore it all day. I was like, it never felt like feminine in any
No.
way. It just felt fresh. So I'm
Yeah.
like, thing held up. 9 o'clock
Smelled
at night.
like springtime.
Oh, it was awesome.
Right?
We were in Times Square, saw the freak show, like did it all.
Ma'am, can you come over here and smell me
Will you
real
please
right?
smell my armpit, which could be a whole segment I'm working on. I was like, if we could work that out,
Yeah.
that could be really big.
Yeah,
but
you just walk up to people and
Smell-
go,
come here,
"Do
smell
you
it."
mind smelling me?"
You could be like the Billy Eichmann of armpit smell.
Yeah, oh
Yes,
my God,
yes.
he's so
And, like,
Give me
start
a
just
rating.
yelling at people, and they're like, "We don't like it." Well, I don't care if you like it anyway.
It's not like I care.
Oh,
See ya.
I did a video last year down in D.C., and it was a full day, all the museums and everything. I'm like, I'm going to test it out. So I put it on right in front of the Spy Museum, and I did everything. We were going till 10 o'clock at night, and then I had Paige. She's next to me. I'm like, how do I smell? And she's like, smell great. So then everybody's like, that video went super viral. And then people are like, it doesn't count until a stranger on the street smells you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, all right, we'll have to seek somebody out. Come here, buddy.
All right, so you have that one. That's a brand new one, right?
Sure.
Yeah, Palo Santo and Sandalwood,
Yep.
Ocean Jetty, Citrus Blast,
Oh,
which
man.
just sounds
Smells like Fruit Loops.
refreshing.
It's so good.
Coconut Cove.
Yep.
That must be
It's
fantastic
really good.
too. Vanilla Bean, Black Coffee. You got your Oak Barrel Bourbon, Lily Air, and then you have this unscented. What does that smell like?
Unscented is amazing because that's when I knew that the thing actually worked.
Yeah, because then you're not focused on anything other than
Right.
does it keep me dry?
Because 9 times out of 10, when you try a deodorant, you're really like, when the fragrance wears off, it's game over, right?
Right,
So then I was like, you know what? I don't want to be fragrance based. I don't want to put so much fragrance on this that I'm walking around, because otherwise, wear some cologne.
Yeah.
Like, who cares,
Yeah.
right? So when I made that one and it worked, I was like, okay, this product is actually legit.
Awesome.
This is really works. And it doesn't smell like anything. It legitimately has 0 scent, and then you have no body odor all day long.
That's perfect,
And
it's
then
not
you're
an
still getting your
antiperspirant.
coffee.
It's not antiperspirant.
You're still getting the coffee oils,
It's the same
right?
thing. So it's the same ingredients, except you just don't have
No
that
fragrance.
All
fragrance.
right, so people that are smell averse and
Yeah.
don't want to be smelling fragrances all day, then boom, you got your
Yeah,
unscented.
put your own thing on. They can put your
There
own
you go.
cologne
You put
on
a
it or
little
whatever.
bit of whatever
Boom,
you
you're
like,
done.
and you're good. And then Ocean Jetty we talked about.
That's our top seller. That thing sells all day. Outsells everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, hands down.
It's
awesome.
crazy, and your distribution is national.
We've sold to
International?
every single state, including Guam and Puerto Rico. We actually sell to Puerto Rico quite a bit. Everywhere from
It's hot
Alaska to
there.
Rhode Island. Yeah, man. We actually have there's this cool guy there. He has a pretty big account. His social media is, I forget the name of it, but all he does is colognes and fragrances, and he rates them. And he got like really into our brand early on. He bought on his own, didn't tell me he was
Yeah,
buying.
that's awesome.
And he started doing reviews online on our deodorants like they were scents.
Mm-hmm.
So then, like, all of a sudden, like, it blew up out there, and people are like, what's going on? This is great. You can smell good. And honestly, I have no idea what he's saying because he's talking in Spanish. So I'm like,
Kelly will translate
I
everything
know,
for
that's
you.
what I was thinking.
Yeah, we
I was like, it's
the-
awesome.
That's the best
can-
kind of marketing.
yeah, you
can
Somebody
bring us
that's
on
doing
staff.
it on their own.
That's so funny.
We'll be your official translating
That's right. I
team.
need some translating. So we've sold everywhere in the U.S. I've had a lot of people wanting to buy in other countries. We haven't gotten there yet. I can't keep up with
No,
that scale
I
yet.
understand. That's
Yeah.
crazy, man.
Yeah, it's surreal, James. You know me long enough to know like
Yeah.
this is quite the ride. You know, it's not anything you could forecast or foresee. You know, when you're sitting back, you're in your 30s, you're like, where am I going to be when I'm 53? It wasn't on TikTok making deodorant, that's for sure.
It's
so.
crazy. I would have never thought. I just happened to stumble upon it. You know what I mean? And then I was like, oh wow. And then Kelly's like, yeah, I see Skip's doing really well with this KAFX company. And I'm like, wait, what? And I looked at it and I'm like, wow, 60,000 followers. And then I told him, I was like, PJ, we got to get Skip to come on the show.
Yeah, I mean, it
dude.
fits perfectly into what we do.
Yeah.
The idea behind the show is just to give somebody an ability to prop up things that they're doing that are just above the average.
Oh,
And
well, I appreciate
when it
that.
comes to restaurants around here, we support, the people that are just putting their passion into
Sure.
something. And he told me that you did this, and I scoped it out, and I was like, it just looks perfect for what we want to talk
thanks
about.
for
Tell the
having me.
audience now, go support Skip and Paige.
Oh,
they are
100%,
awesome people.
yeah.
It
Thank
is
you,
a
thank you,
small
thank you.
business, and it's often overlooked. You know,
Yep.
like there's not a lot of help for, and that the COVID story resonates with me
Totally.
so much, man, because it was decimating.
Yeah. It probably changed things on how you view your business, right? to some
I had
extent.
the same revelation as you.
I
You know,
had
here
a-
we had entertainment company where we're doing well. You know what I mean? We
I
had
know.
been in business for quite a bit of time, and then it was to me, and I've shared the story plenty of times. You know, that industry doing events is like death and garbage, especially when you cater to weddings, right? Because everybody does them whether they can afford them or not. There was security in that, just
Yes.
like it was for you for the gym.
Yep.
And then when they went away, and there was no end in sight, and there's no receivables, and like any future sales, they're not there. And I don't have triplets, but I have all the other bills that
Sure.
you have, and I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah, what do I do?
I have money from nowhere.
Yep.
Like, and the mortgage companies are cool. They're like, oh, cool, we can help, whatever. But like, nobody really cared,
No.
because there were other businesses that were killing it
Yep.
because of COVID, right?
Yeah.
And their version of help is kick the can down and
Yes.
tack on the interest
Correct.
when you're coming back.
And that's what it was. Like people were like, "Well, didn't you get help?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, not enough. Like like they don't understand what it's like to be in our shoes, and they also don't understand what it's like to like when COVID hit for us. We were on task that month to have the best month ever in X amount of years. Like we had 300 members.
Dude, you expanded crazy. Like I remember we started in this one little section. Well, put Point Pleasant to the side, and then boom, there was this one little section, and then there was the tunnel, and then there's the other little expansion, and then ever since, even after I left, then you expanded again into this other one, and then boom, COVID, and it's like, wait, I just expanded into like 6,000 square feet, and now COVID just hit.
I had a 10,000 square foot footprint that I couldn't use, and then even when I could use it, it was like people didn't want to like train. They're like they were freaked out. And then they were like, so we were in the parking lot for over a year. In January, we were out in the parking lot, and like that just killed our business.
Isn't that weird? Like our mentality was so averse to getting in a building with each other. Just because we were told for long enough that it was going to harm you.
And businesses like ours took the hit. Like I mean, look, a lot of people took the hit emotionally, mentally. Like kids, especially like my kids, man. Like you know they were in 8th grade going into high school. Their graduation was like, hey, come pick up your cap and gown. I was like, are you serious?
We'll
like,
do it in the car as a drive-by or something
Speaking
like
of that,
it's crazy.
He talked about his little transition. You talked about yours. Mine, I was in entertainment too. I lost 56 weddings. I didn't know what the hell to do. So I made Back to the Movies drive-ins.
Wow.
And we took a production company that was not working, and they were, a place that was doing concerts for the Barclays Center, and they were doing really big events, and they had these multi-million-dollar screens they knew nothing to do with. So I rented them out first, and we did drive-in movies, daytime, right in the middle of the day, because these things were so vivid and bright. But then I got the idea, let's do drive-in graduations. And we did Rutgers Prep, and that led to 15 other graduations.
Are you serious?
So kids got to walk up on their own individual riser. Valedictorian got to speak, talk to everybody in their cars, because we did RF into the cars. And we made, absolute chicken salad out of that chicken shit.
Yeah, man.
But when everything started turning around, the price tag tripled because these guys were going back to work.
Of course.
So it wasn't something I could keep for the long run, even though my mind was starting to go, maybe I could buy a plot of land and make this a permanent drive-in.
It sounds
with
amazing.
The new technology, And we had negotiations in AC, and they were talking about one of the places down there cutting off one of the parking lots and making it for me.
Could you imagine?
And it was like the perfect storm was happening, and then all of a sudden this production company was like, I love you guys, but we have to go back to work now. And all right, so that was like our pivot, which was exciting, but I never want to deal with that again.
No.
And he never wants to deal with that again.
No.
I haven't recovered from it yet.
No.
Be honest with you.
That is like when you look back at that was traumatic for small businesses like ours. And like I know everybody took the hit, but so many people that I knew that had, jobs, they were like, I stayed home. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, all right,
it was
man.
a totally different experience.
Got a paycheck
that you needed to pay for.
Yes.
And I felt like a responsibility to keep my few entertainers working in some capacity. So they all helped me with this, and then we were helping the production company keep their guys floating. So it was like a nice community effort.
Right.
But I was like, I said to my wife, I go, that was hard and that was rewarding, but I never want to deal with that ever again.
I loved paying rent for a building when I was in the parking lot. Like
what are we doing?
And same thing. I was doing everything I could to keep my coaches there, keep them employed on some level. But like that's a challenge too.
Right.
Because like they're getting money from their other jobs to stay home. So it's like I don't blame them, but it's like people didn't really see the small business scope as much as we did when you're in the trenches.
There was very minimal in amount, and I don't want to go down the COVID pigeonhole either because I could talk to you about this for hours, but there was very minimal help in place on a federal or state level to go to businesses like yours and I. They threw us breadcrumbs here and there just to try to get us to be quiet or whatever and said, hey, look, we'll come back. We'll hook you guys up on the backside of it. They forced people into like long-term loans at high interest rates, and it was just a really, really unfortunate thing for some
life-changing for so many. And not even if you got COVID.
No. I take that off the table. Just the rest of it.
Everything that changed and the mentality of everybody's perspective changed. and they're never going back, right?
Talk
We're
about
never
Rainbow
going back to
Horizon.
the times.
Yeah.
It's brutal. But
Here you
on
go.
to happy things.
On to happy
Here's the inspiration that came from back against the wall.
Sure.
You said, I'm going to make something happen. You made this happen.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm excited to use it.
Yeah,
I'm
me
gonna wear
too,
it
me
to work
too.
tomorrow, and then I'm just going to be sniffing myself all day.
Kel
'cause
is gonna
it all
appreciate
smells
you so
fantastic.
much because she always comments on my old man smell. Or,
Oh man,
Nice.
You know,
we got to change that.
So, speaking of preparation and being prepared and smelling good, leads me to a bit that I want to do with the two of you.
Yeah, let's go.
guys.
All right.
And I've seen it. It's made the rounds on the internet, but I think we're going to have some fun with it. I'm going to give you guys $15. You got 15 bucks to spend.
15 bucks.
15.
15
All
bucks,
All
little
right.
man. And we have 4 levels. We are going to build our zombie apocalypse team.
Okay.
All right?
I've often alluded to this before.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So
Yeah, me
today
too.
is the day. All right. So our first level, it's our weapon.
Okay.
All right. So for $5, you can have a tank.
It's a good deal.
For $4, a chain gun with unlimited ammo.
Ooh.
For $3, a chainsaw. For $2, a samurai sword. And for $1, you can have boxing gloves with some tack super glue on.
I don't know if I'm that cheap.
If you think that there's going to be some value somewhere else, maybe you can
Yeah,
save your
yeah.
money.
You can do either a 30-year budget right now.
Exactly. Now we
Or-
got 4 levels.
What's your
so
life
you gotta-
worth?
You gotta figure this one out. So Skip, I'm gonna go to you first. You want the tank, the chain gun, chainsaw,
Bro.
samurai sword, or boxing gloves? with
I'm
some
taking the
tacks?
sword.
Yeah, I knew it. I was
taking
gonna
the
say this
sword.
guy's outfitted
It's the only
for
thing
the
I'm
close
comfortable
quarters.
with.
Keto,
so-
right?
Yeah.
There you go. So you
Taking the
only
sword.
spent $2.
That's
You got
a
13
bargain.
remaining. What do you want, James?
I would love to take the tank because I could sleep in it too. So I can think about like the double
That's
over
smart.
of it,
That's
right? What I
smart.
mean, like it's shelter and also weaponry.
Yeah.
My issue with
But
the
you'll
tank.
fall asleep with the tank door open on the
Yeah.
top.
Right, or something like that.
It'll be all cloudy. in
Nice
there.
day.
I'm just thinking about too. Here's my problem with the tank. Like, it's diesel, right? And it's like zombie apocalypse, right? So where's my fuel come
Yeah,
from
that's
after
a
I
good
go
point.
through? So
It's a lot of diesel.
It's just
Yeah.
a big iron tent.
Yep. Exactly.
I want to go with a hand weapon, but man, that's a risky business here. I'm torn between the sword and
The gloves, right?
the I thought about the gloves for a second just to save some money for something else awesome, but
Come on.
close.
Same problem with the chainsaw too. That's out for me.
Yeah,
It's gas.
Yeah,
powered,
it's
right?
gas,
Yeah.
and the ammo is limited. I'm gonna go with the sword with Skip. I'm gonna get up close and
Let's
personal.
go.
I'm not afraid to look a dude in his eyes and put my
The gift
sword
that
through
keeps
his
on
stomach.
giving.
Yeah.
I'll make you the chainsaw with 100-foot cord. It'll be electric.
The Ryobi.
There you go.
You got the right one. All right, so you both got $13 remaining.
All right.
We're on to the second level.
How many levels are there? First of
4.
all, just I want to make sure I budget
wanna-
my money.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's important.
Second level is your teammate. Very
Okay.
important now,
Yeah,
right? $5, the Hulk.
Ooh.
$4, Darth Vader. $3, Jackie Chan. $2, we got Simba.
Simba.
And $1, we got Beetlejuice.
Oh, damn.
Not the movie character,
Oh,
but
from
the
Howard
guy
Stern?
from Howard
the
Stern.
actual dollars gracious. That's just bait.
Oh man, Skip, you're up.
Beetlejuice, how
Oh.
much you weigh? I weigh about 450.
Wait, 4. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Darth Vader because that lightsaber is gonna come in handy.
Okay,
You
yep.
know.
All right, very good. And it's $4, so now you're up to $6
Yeah,
spent.
yeah.
You got 9.
So my problem with the Hulk is he's got like some sort of crazy, bipolar disorder,
Yeah,
right?
see,
He's
you
like
can't
Eric.
trust him.
Yeah.
Good and bad though,
Yeah.
because if we're taking Banner, he's really
I was
smart.
gonna say, is it
Yeah.
Bruce Banner, Eric Banner, right? Is it Bruce Banner or Eric Banner?
It's Bruce,
Banner,
right?
Yeah.
Bruce.
I just think about the song where he's wearing that the cowboy tuxedo, the denim, flicks the jacket over his thing. He's walking down the street.
Yeah.
Talking
Yes.
about the original.
Yeah.
I'm old.
Old school. 70s.
So Hulk is 5.
and he regenerates. So if he gets hurt,
Yeah, that's true.
he regenerates.
That's a good
Vader's
point.
4.
Vader's 4.
Who was 3 again?
Jackie
Jackie
Chan.
Chan.
Jackie Chan, you gotta be close with
It-
Jackie.
So here's my deal with Jackie. Just a question, Right, I'm overthinking these maybe a little bit, but
No.
I'm
He'd
trying
add
to
some
make
humor and some
apocalypse
lightness to the
time.
whole
Yeah, yeah,
situation,
you know?
yeah.
right?
I'm trying to make concise decisions
Until
here.
he
This is
gets bit.
important. What age range are we talking, Jackie Chan? Are we talking
that's
like
important.
Isn't he like in his
90s
60s?
Jackie Chan.
90s.
Like
That's solid.
1990s Jackie Chan.
Not
so,
he is 90.
so like when he
Not
did
90
the
Not
years
90,
old,
gotcha.
Jackie Chan.
he did that like real life fall down the
Yeah.
high rise building
Yes.
stunt
Yes.
That was good.
unchained.
Yeah.
He's no joke.
Dude, I'm going with Chan.
That was a
All right,
badass
there,
Jackie
you
right
saved
there.
a little bit of money.
That's good.
$3 and 2. You only spent 5. You got 10 remaining.
Yeah, he's gonna whoop some ass.
All right, so third level. It's just one item here. You need an item.
Okay.
For 5, you can have a time freeze ray. So you can
okay.
freeze time.
Okay.
But you can only use it 5 times. But
It's a bucket
it
of
lasts for an hour.
shit. Okay.
All right. So
Okay.
an individual time freeze where you can move it,
Okay.
nothing else around you does.
All right.
So that's 5. Number 4, Raiden's lightning bolts.
Oh, from Street
Mortal
Fighter.
Kombat.
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Combat.
How many?
You have unlimited lightning
Ooh.
bolts.
Do you get the hat too?
You get
I
the
want the
hat,
hat.
too.
I can
want the
see
hat.
you with
I want
that though.
So you get the Raiden whole dress up, basically. For 3, you got rocket shoes.
Nah, those suck.
In all your experience,
No.
rocket shoes.
Overrated.
For $2, you got a never-ending milkshake.
That's like right up my speed, to be honest.
Wow.
It's like I'm on a
It is
diet,
the apocalypse,
Yeah.
you know.
Right. I'm
You're
saying,
gonna get hungry.
Thinking the food
Gonna get hungry.
situation.
I'm
We still have $1.
I'm already sold.
I want to know what I want. The $1. Let's go.
$1. You just got a Swiss Army knife.
Swiss Army knife. I got a sword. I'm all right.
You got the
I got a
sword.
sword.
You're good. So 5, time freeze ray. 4, Raiden's lightning bolts and the hat too. Rocket shoes for 3. Never-ending milkshakes for 2.
I'm taking lightning bolts.
Really?
Yeah,
the
because I
lightning
could hunt with those lightning bolts. You know.
Yes. All right, so that's $4 to go with your. You took Simba, right? No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. Simba. Darth Vader for 4, so that's 6, and then the samurai sword number
Yeah.
2. That's 8.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're recounting this
you-
because.
but you can't keep any money. So.
So how much does he have left in his budget?
He's got too much money.
I got too
honestly.
much money. That's all right. That's all right. I'm still going.
You're
Cheaped
gonna
out.
take the
I
$2.
like my choice.
Throw 'em in the
Yeah,
air?
throw them in.
All right. What do you want?
This decision is very easy for me, and this is probably going to get me elected on a lot of zombie apocalypse teams moving forward. You know, the demand is going to be high. I have milkshakes in perpetuity.
Yeah. Milkshakes.
I'm sorry
that
you had
guy.
me at the milkshake.
And
Unlimited.
You and Jackie Chan are gonna enjoy
You and
your
Jackie will
milkshake.
have some great milkshakes.
We're gonna have both little swirly straws that we sip out like Lady and the Tramp.
I
We're gonna
love
look
it.
at each
And
other.
what you're gonna find out is Jackie Chan is lactose intolerant.
Yes.
So
More
they're
shakes
all
for you.
All right, 4th and final level, your home base. All right, so we're gonna go in the other direction. We're gonna start with the $1, a shoddy tent with holes in it. 2, we got a treehouse. 3, an RV.
Oh,
That's kind of nice.
Right.
Gas
Ooh.
again.
Walter
4,
White.
a beach house.
Mm.
5, the Pentagon.
Oh man,
Let's go.
that's an easy spend.
Pentagon all the way.
Yeah, I got all the money in the world for it. Plus, I want to know all what's in those secret
Oh my!
hallways.
I would
and
buy it
stuff
just
like
for that.
dude.
Right,
You know
just to
what I
run
mean?
around.
Just so I
and
can run around and
see if we
see
can
what
find the
hell's in
wing.
there.
we got a Paul Blart Mall cop. Oh, you might have hit the
I
thing a
think
little
I
bit.
did.
Oh,
Oh,
there we go.
yeah, we're back.
You got to get like one of those Paul Blart Mall cops
Yeah, the
segways
little
though to get
Segways.
around.
That could be your one item if I would have put it in there.
They do that at Bellworks. Their
Yeah, they do.
security, Yeah, their
they do.
security
I've
does.
seen that.
You know what would have worked really well? Rocket shoes to
Yeah.
shoot around the freaking Pentagon.
Yeah. And so you blow up some
So you guys
crazy.
are both
room.
taking the Pentagon, right?
Dude, I got all the
Pentagon.
money in the world for it.
Pentagon.
You do. You
Yeah.
both
All
had
the
a
way.
little extra money.
Yeah.
Cha-ching.
You got fortification. You got probably some crazy generated tech.
There's
That's
got to
like,
be some food in there, right?
Ah,
some
definitely.
bunkers. Come on.
All right, so
Lots
I'm going
of
to do
bunkers.
mine now. First level, I'm taking the tank. $5. I'm rolling in the tank.
Okay.
That's going to protect us all. second level, I don't need a partner because I got a tank. I'm taking Beetlejuice.
What
You want to be alone in a tank with Beetlejuice. That's the end of the world right there.
Throw him out there as a snack. If
We
I
got
need
PJ teamed up with Beetlejuice and the D's nuts guy.
Sounds like you're okay.
Got
to. Somebody pooped in my pants. All right, and then the third level. I'm taking Raiden's lightning bolts for sure. So
Sure,
that's,
you get the
Yeah,
hat.
that's a smart
5,
move.
9, and 10. Now I got a full 5 for the Pentagon. That's why Beetlejuice is my homie, because I could be at the Pentagon with a tank.
Yeah.
And Beetlejuice.
And Beetlejuice, I'll
And
put him on the other side of the Pentagon.
You
I'll
could
never
probably
find him.
refuel your tank at the Pentagon.
At the
too.
Pentagon, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All
That's true.
right,
I didn't
so
think
that
about
is our
that.
zombie apocalypse.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thanks
That's a
for
great
playing.
team. I can see it again. You, Beetlejuice, and Hank the Angry Midget.
Yes. If he was my one item. Hank,
item.
Hank the angry drunken dwarf. Love the guy. Speaking of dwarves, July 20th,
Yes.
this upcoming next weekend.
Yes. That's my birthday, actually.
It is the micro wrestling down at Duck Tavern in AC. They do it every year. It is absolute hilarity.
Micro wrestling.
They're
Yes.
so good. They
That's
are
amazing.
so good. But our buddy John Henderson, who has Good Time Tricycle, and he puts on the AC Beer Fest,
Right.
and he puts on the AC Seafood Festival, and all the different fun stuff that you can do in AC. He puts this event on every
Wow.
year. It's so much
Wow.
fun. I wish I could go, but my
Me
son's
too.
birthday's the 22nd, so we're taking him to this magic theater thing
Nice.
for a dinner and show
that's awesome.
out in out the outskirts of Philly. So we won't be able to go, unfortunately, but the videos will be.
The
will be
videos
good.
would be amazing.
I'm gonna ask John to send me a couple exclusive.
Yeah.
videos, so I'll have
I wanted
those.
to do that with a. So we did like a food eating contest here not too long ago.
Yeah.
But I want to do that.
Back in the back. Oh, dude,
yeah,
they
in the
have
back.
lights, everything
my
was so.
we did it with Cluck You and Broad Street Doco.
No.
with two different eating contests.
2 in the same day.
Yes.
Different people.
contestants.
Different
Different
people.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
We
good,
had
'cause-
we had 3 breweries go against each
Oh.
other, all head brewers of the
Come
breweries.
on.
Yep.
Yeah.
We had Cypress Brewing Company go against Icarus
And Source.
and go against Source.
I may never leave this place. I might just like
it was
move in.
it was so much
It's
fun.
like a little Disney World.
I think all the things, even if that could we could have done, we can still do.
yeah, no, I mean
Yeah.
we have so much ability because of this place
Oh, it's
and
amazing.
all the different
Are you kidding?
variants
This
of
place
things.
is ridiculous.
We're gonna do a music video with these deodorants.
Yeah, product launch. Your next
Drinking a cup of coffee.
your next scent. Bring
There
it
we
to
go.
us, and we'll do like a fun product.
do a spec
placement
video.
picture. Yeah.
we did
Amazing.
we did a spec video for Slurpee. It was really cool.
Did you
Yeah,
really?
see,
Yeah.
see.
That's sick.
I'll show it to you. I have
That's
to
sick.
find it. But yeah.
There's
That
so
is
much
so
fun
cool.
stuff we could do here.
Oh, you can do anything here.
We could build
This
bunk
place is
beds.
nuts.
We could build. Did we just become best friends? Yep. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate it. Skip, it was
Yeah.
so much fun
Oh man, I had
having
a
you
great
here.
time. Thank you for having me.
Can't wait to use this stuff. Thank you for bringing
Yes,
Oh,
thanks.
cool.
it. And when you have new scents and new things you want us to announce, bring them here. We'll do
I'd
it.
be honored.
Let's
Thank you.
stay tapped in. I mean, it's
Definitely.
been way too long since I've seen you
Hell
to
yeah.
begin with. So let's we'll exchange some numbers before you
Definitely.
go, and yeah, we're gonna pump this stuff out,
Yeah.
dude. I'm gonna do a follow up on this.
Heck yeah.
See
Heck
how
yeah.
much
You guys
better
are
I
awesome.
smell.
You guys are awesome. Yeah.
Yes, a little
Case
before and
taster,
after.
baby.
I'm gonna
Case
have
taster.
everybody away from me in the office, and then the after is everybody
Come on
going,
in.
"Damn, you smell good."
Why do I want a cup of coffee every time I'm around you?
Exactly. Yeah.
I drink so much coffee. So
Have
much.
you?
Yep, this is just gonna
Me
come
too.
out my pores anyway.
Yeah,
Right?
there you go.
All right. Cheers, man. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
in.
you guys. Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Peace. We're out.